Welcome to Sex and Breakfast, the sexy way to start your day. Dishing out sexpert advice and spicy insights about sex, love, and everything in between. Hosted by sex coaches and therapists from around the globe.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Diane is here, and I'm your main chef from Sex and Breakfast podcast. And we are talking about shelf, SHELF, leisure today. And why we bring this topic up? Because friends, clients, colleagues often ask, what's on the bookshelf of a certified sex coach or a sex therapist? So, in this episode, we will explore books that inspire us and really encouraging honest conversation about sex, desire, and everything in between. Now, if there is one book that um, everyone should have on their shelf, it is the classic Drumroll, Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski. It's really love the book, and this is one of the most read books. You have to have it on your shelf. From my studies at Sex Coach U, and I can't stop recommending this book because really it has changed the way I personally think we all think about sex and desire, especially for vulva owners and their lovers. The book is evidence based, but not boring at all. It's incredibly engaging, accessible, and it's really because it's thanks to Emily's amazing ability to break down myth about female desire and arousal in the most engaging way. And what I love about book, it's some of the key concept that really stuck in my head and also my clients, especially after they read the book. So some of the takeaway for the book, for example, it speaks about a dual control model. So it is like the accelerators and brake system of desire, similar to a car analogy. So there are factors in us that can put brakes to our desires, and this could be things like stress, pain, uh, environment. Like if you, for example, you just give birth and your sexual sanctuary now become a nursery, makes sense if you don't feel horny, right? And other factors like infidelity or trauma, that could be some of the factors that can really put brakes into our desire, or things that accelerate desires. For example, if you feel really safe with your partner, you are having fun with your partner, you clean your room up, and now it looks really like hotel. um, or yes, so all these kind of things that can accelerate our desire. And she also talks about responsive and spontaneous desire as well as contextual desire. So Nagoski explained that around spontaneous desire is the kind of desire that just boom shows up out of nowhere. It's those kind of desire that you see in a movie. So it's like a light switch. And this is not how most vulva owners or women experience it. It's only about 75% of men and 15% of women have this type of spontaneous desire. And so most women and some men um, experience responsive desire instead, meaning desire kicks in after something sexy happens, like touch, kissing, or just generally feel more connected. I think she used an analogy like going to the party. So, quite often, if you are so exhausted and you're tired, and then you get an invitation to go to a party, you kind of feel, do I want to go to the party or not? What happened to the traffic? Da 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 da. But then you just went along with it. You get yourself ready, you go to the party, and when you are in the party, the mood is good, you see your friends, you feel relaxed, and boom, the party starts. So I think that's a very useful analogy. And then there's a contextual desire, which remind us that environment really matters. In fact, there's a whole episode in Netflix. I don't know if it's still running, that dedicated to um, bedroom makeover.
Yeah, it's the one, I think there's, well, the one that I'm referring to is the one who does creates BDSM situations or creates bedrooms for sex. I don't remember
Mm-hmm.
what it is. We'll have to figure out.
Yeah,
Um,
we can put in the show notes.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it was awesome. By the way, I'd recommend it.
yeah. So yes. So I think if you're stressed, tired, and worried about kids, the bedroom is so totally, absolutely normal for desire to take a backseat, and hence chore play is really important. But that's going to be another episode altogether. So the bottom line is, you're not broken. If desire doesn't just show up, you might just need the right context. So to recap, my fave quote or moment from the book is really, yeah, for me, it's the pleasure is the measure. So I'm gonna open it up to the floor and see what's cooking for you when you are reading this book.
I'd say my favorite quote from the book is, "It's not about weight or size or fat. It's a measure of gravity and nothing else. It's about living joyfully inside your body as it is today."
And my favorite quote from the book is, it's very prevalent today to women, especially living in the US. I am done living in a world where women are lied to about their bodies, where women are objects of sexual desire, but not subjects of sexual pleasure, where sex is used as a weapon against women, and where women believe their bodies are broken simply because those bodies are not male. And I am done living in a world where women are trained from birth to treat their bodies as the enemy.
Here,
Wow,
here.
thank you for that.
Yeah, it really just gives me chills because of
It
what's
does.
happening. Mm-hmm.
And my favorite moment from the book is she says, "More good news, it's not monogamy either." And what she was talking about is that there's a lot of messaging out there about the unnaturalness of monogamy. And while I love that there's so much positive information about ethical non monogamy and polyamory, um, it sometimes can sound like it's putting monogamy down. And a lot of people may be looking for E&M, ethical non-monogamy, to be the thing that saves their relationship and be the spice that brings everything back. And this more good news, it's not monogamy either, is really talking about circling back to what Dion said about it's the context that matters. And so sometimes monogamous couples create context that sustains and enlivens desire, and some couples don't. And that's the same for polyamory as well. So it's not either good or bad for desire.
Yeah, I love that non-binary thinking about desire, isn't it? And that allowing spectrum of desire and embracing it. And there's nothing wrong if we have different desire and perhaps changes as well, because people change as we get old, aging, and all this kind of thing. So allowing change to happen, it's really powerful. Okay, so I've talked about our Bible. So what's on your shelf pleasures, lady? So this is where, please share what's your favorite book, and why does this book matter to you as a sex coach, or even to the audience who's tuning into the show.
Well, Dion, this is such a great topic because I feel like so much of what I do with clients is educate them. And what a great way to educate people than to offer them a book. And I mean, I feel like this could be an entire, we could talk about this for hours because there's so many great books out there. But just recently, I'm just going to talk about a couple books specifically for couples struggling in relationships. I love everything from the Gottman Institute, which was formed by John Gottman. His institute is backed by decades of research and hundreds of scientifically backed studies. So they've conducted on real life couples in their Love Lab, which is in the United States. So some of their books that I have recommended to couples or anyone desiring to find a better partner in the future are The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, and another book is 8 Dates. So, although these might not seem sexy or spicy, our sex lives are intertwined with all areas of our partnered life. And so, working on deepening the relationship has a profound effect on intimacy as well. So, those are 2 books for couples. Another book that I have just recently recommended a lot, and we've already talked about it in a previous episode, is Urban Tantra by Barbara Carrellas. And a lot of people have been coming a lot more intrigued with wanting to dip their toes in Tantra. And so this is a really great entry book for anyone that is interested or wants to learn more about getting into Tantra.
Oh, those are 2 great books. Yes, I also love John Gottman work. In fact, I just came from a training on infidelity, and Gottman method. It's really structured and it's really, really helpful. I think they have these 6 golden hours, little things that couple do throughout the week that can really enhance intimacy and connection. So do check that out. And we already put in our show notes as well. Gottman Connect website. Who else has any thoughts about books in their shelf pleasure?
I'm going to share the very first book. Well, I agree, by the way, with Come As You Are and Urban Tantra, by the way. But the very first book that I ever read about sex was in Green Apple Books. And I've mentioned this before on other episodes. I was wandering Green Apple Books and I ended up in the upstairs section in a corner when I was 16. And I found the book, The Art of Sexual Pleasure by Margo Anand, and it blew my mind. And I bought it and I started reading it, and I decided that I used that book and I hid that book, and that was a book I used to educate myself about sex. And because I couldn't have it until I was 18. That was the agreement I made with my folks, by the way. And yeah, it was incredible. And then I read that, and then there was the book. I got to an age in my relationship when I took human sexuality, which was an incredible class in psychology. I recommend everyone taking it or getting information about it. But it was the book Ethical Slut, because I knew that I was a little bit different. Like Norland was just talking about E&M. I was polyamorous at the time, and it taught me different ways of being. And Ethical Slut is by Dossie, Easton, and Janet Hardy. And then fast forward a little bit more, where I started to deepen my spirituality piece. And I really enjoyed the book Women of the Light, The New Sacred Prostitute by Kenneth Stubbs. And that book also blew my mind, because I was like, oh, because at that time I was a dominatrix, and it was such a spiritual experience for me. This is before my Tantra experience, where I became a Tantrika. And yeah, it was incredible. So highly recommend those. Oh, and Women Who Run with the Wolves. Just saying, if anyone's interested.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
That is a good one. Yeah. Wow. That's really really good list, that one.
Thank you.
So the 3 books that I'm bringing to the shelf are Acupressure for Lovers from Michael Reed. And I love this one because it brings body-based practices in such an approachable way. It has pictures. And a lot of times books about touch and intimacy are more in the massage realm or sensual touch realm. And while that's really important as well, um, that I am finding that can be overwhelming to certain partners where the idea of performing or giving a whole massage kind of adds more stress. So I wanted to find something that could add some bite-sized techniques. And this really works with the modality of acupressure. Now, it's not acupuncture. Acupuncture is with needles, but acupressure is what you can apply with just your fingertips. And it's working with some of the same energy meridians that acupuncture with the needle would also tap into. But guess what? You can just put sustained pressure on these points. And some of them you can look specifically throughout this book to help with erectile dysfunction, early ejaculation, pain during sex. It can be very much related to a concern, or it can be more about enhancement and pleasure and exploration. So it's a must have, in my opinion, as far as being a handbook to reference for your clients or to have on your own shelf. And I also love The Multi-Orgasmic Man by Montauk Chia and Douglas Areva. And it's also just chock full of very approachable exercises, but this is going to be focused on the male body. So there's chapters on EE, DE as well. And then eventually, once you have full control of your body in this way, you can also be working towards becoming a multi-orgasmic man, and really having more energetic orgasms as well. So I love that one. And the third one I'll offer is Contemporary Male Sexuality by Barry and Emily McCarthy. And at first glance, it might seem like it's more for clinicians or practitioners because of its density. It is a skinny book, but I do actually recommend it to my male identified clients because it's going to confront myths and pressures around men and masculinity and sex, which I think is a really important aspect of how they show up into a relationship. So those are my 3 books.
Oh, I second that contemporary male sexuality one. That's one of the books that we have to read as well when I did my training with Sydney University. But I'm already putting in the acupressure for lover and multi-orgasmic man on my online cart.
The acupuncture book reminds me of Dr. Patty's book, The Complete Idiot's Guide to
Yes.
Sensual Massage.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like the acupuncture book is level 1, and then the sensual massage, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Sensual Massage would be like level 2. So I just was thinking of that when you brought it up, which is a really good book too.
Yeah, I put it on the list as well. That's another list. Oh, this is okay. I think I need a bigger shelf. Pleasure. This is a very short and sweet episode, so I hope it's useful for all of you. So thanks for joining us today, enjoying our breakfast or dinner or lunch, wherever you are in the part of the world. So yeah, tell us, what do you think about our suggestion? Let us know in the comment section. And if you have any suggestion to add to our shelf pleasure, just drop us a note.
Stay tuned for our next episode. Until then, send us some love by sharing, hitting subscribe, and leave a review. It really helps us connect to more incredible people like you. If you want to learn more about sex coaching or therapy, you can find us at sexandbreakfastpodcast.com, and be sure to follow us on Instagram at sexandbreakfastpodcast. The people helping us cook this all up are Michael Merle, creating our tasty tunes, dishing out our audio and video is Max Rainier, and our delectable visual designs by Brie Vilaubi.